Hi family, Miss Aiken's here with Jake, and we are outside today for our nature walk with words in the garden, and we are going to measure, and that's the word we're going to spell, is measure our tall sunflower. And I'm going to talk to you about the word measure because there are two tricky parts in that word. Alright, so let's go put Jake in his cage and let's go measure this tall sunflower. In the comments, go ahead and write down your vote on how tall you think the sunflower is. I am actually 5'4", and it is way taller than me. We'll see how tall. Okay guys, so here we go. We're going to measure to see how tall the sunflower is. And look, we have our cucumber growing up on it. Alright, my tape measure. So you would have to probably take two measurements and add them together. It'll be too tall for me to measure. Say that was 7 feet there, and we'll measure from the bottom up. We'll get an estimate. 3 feet. So we're at least 7 feet. The first measurement up, and 3 feet coming up. So we're at least a 10-foot sunflower. That is unbelievable. Hi family, so we're back from our nature walk with words, and we were measuring that tall sunflower. So we are going to spell the word measure together, and there's two tricky parts in that word that I want us to talk about. So let's go ahead and get our syllables up here, how many syllables we hear in the word, and then we'll talk about those tricky parts because they have to do with the vowel patterns. So how many syllables in the word measure? Measure. 2 syllables. I'll put my 2 cards up. Oh, so sorry, Jake is joining us today in our studio. Jake, you want to say hi to everyone? Say hi. Yeah, you can do a little dance for him. There you go. All right, measure. Okay, now in this first syllable, what is making that sound eh? Well, you want to think it's going to be the short sound for this letter E, right? E, but it's not. It is actually EA in that first syllable. But don't fly away. Measure, it's actually EA, okay? And EA is tricky because it can make at least 3 sounds. Sometimes like a schwa sound, but at least 3 sounds it does make. And I'm going to show you what they are. And it has to do with all things that you can eat. All right, and here they are. So the first EA, I'm going to go through and underline my EAs. EA, EA, EA. Most of the time, EA makes the long vowel sound E, like in the word meat. That's what we eat. However, sometimes it can make the short vowel sound eh, like in the word measure, or the word bread, that makes the short vowel sound eh. And then it can also make that long vowel sound a, like in the word steak. And so that is why this pattern, EA, is tricky. And that is why, too, that you don't want to say when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. That's not always true because we got 2 vowels. And yeah, it does the talking, but not all the time. It can also say the long sound A, so the last one would be doing the talking. So that rule is, or that little saying, can get confusing sometimes. But as long as we point out what's happening, that awareness will start building new neural pathways and helping the understanding of our language. So meat, bread, steak. All EA, all make 3 different sounds. But in our word measure is making the sound eh, like in the word bread. So I'm going to put my EA card up there. Here we go. Measure. Now this is where it gets pretty tricky, because you don't want to say, when I teach it as it's one sound unit. Okay, but really when you're saying sure, you're saying 2 sounds. But it's S-U-R-E. All that is a syllable type in itself, the way I teach it. Measure, because you want it, those 4 letters, you want it to be programmed in the brain where they're recognizing them. Measure, jure. Okay, so measure. Go ahead and put our M up. Eh. Not this one, remember. It's this, it's like in bread, making that other sound. So yay, and jure. And it's S-U-R-E. Pleasure is another one. See what other words you can put in the comments that have the ends in the jure sound. Pleasure, measure. I'll have to think of some. It's hard to think of words on the fly. So now you would put these words together, and there's your word measure. If I was going to decode this word, so you're going to underline our vowel patterns. We got EA. And then, like I said, you want to see this as a unit within itself. S-U-R-E. Measure. So that's making your vowel sound but when you have S-U together, that's what's causing that j sound. Measure, jure. That's changing our sounds. So it does it with sugar, measure. Let's see, I'm trying to think of some other words. Not such, that doesn't do it because it plays the same role in such, but like in sugar, the S and U together will sometimes affect the way, the sound they make. Not always but j or shu, I think sugar, measure, sugar. 2 different sounds, but it's changing it to not the same sounds like the word such. All right, so just a quick tidbit on how to spell the word measure, and I'll do another video to add to this on the word tall, and we're going to talk about something called the fizzle rule. So check out the next video for that one. Bye guys.